Okay, we're on the air.
Okay, so I'm asking permission for you as well, so I can record it too, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think we're on. Welcome everyone again. This is Meet My Friends today with Ronen Rahaman. And Ronen, it is a business consultant and he also manages LinkedIn profiles. So he can manage the page for you and make business for you without you having to move a finger. Welcome, Ronen.
Thank you. Good to be here.
He also has a project that involves kids. It's a casa project that he will explain more about it. But he is a court-appointed special advocate for kids. And when he works on a case, you can hear Ronnie talking about his own child. So he is defending each kid that comes into his what would we say, into your environment, into your energy.
Yeah.
You defend them as your own kid. Tell us more about it, Ronan.
You know, I treat the whole world like my kids, my dog, my casa kiddo. And that is, I just, how can I say it? I try to be as straight with people as possible, and I work to lift everybody up. That's what it is. So, that's my way of contributing to the world.
That's a beautiful mission.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about the business consulting, but that's just, and that's fulfilling, and I enjoy doing that because I make a difference for businesses. But more importantly for me, the CASA program has been tremendous. It's the kind of thing that you might say, I couldn't do that, but you actually can do that. I grew up always hearing about problems with foster care and the system is broken and all of those things. And I used to say somebody should do something about that, And now when I found out about the CASA program, I'm like, wow, I can do something about that. Meaning I can't fix the whole system, but I can make a difference for one kid. So that's what got me involved, is just that. I have the time to do it. I make the time to do it, is a better way to say it. And it's something that's important. I think about the kind of world that my kids are going to grow up in, and it's up to me to do what I can to make it the best world possible. So I can't fix the world, but I can fix what I can fix, and I can make a difference where I can make a difference. So I don't worry so much about what I can't do, and I just really focus on what I can do. Does that make sense?
Yes, that is taking control of what you have in your hands at the moment. It's caring of what it is in your hands at the moment. It's living in the moment, but also working on what your project is right now. I think that it's a beautiful, mission that you do. And I was thinking when you were speaking about, have you formed connections where someone that you help or the family got connected to you in a way they were very appreciative of your work? Or do you look back and see how kids have grown after what you contributed to their life in a better way? How it benefited them? Have you seen kids like at an older age?
Mine is still with me. So I'm still on this case. My previous case aged out, which means that they turned 18 and now they're on their own. And I don't have any contact with him. That's his choice. And it's okay. I'm curious to see how he's doing, but he was a smart guy. And I think he's doing okay. So, it isn't the reason I do it. I know I'm pretty sure he's doing well. I just work with the kid in the moment, and I haven't done it long enough. I've been doing it for about 3 years now. And my first case might be coming back to me. I don't know. It's not a perfect system. You just have to keep working and working and working to make not the system so much, but the situations as good as they can be. You know, these are generally people who are dealing with abuse. The parents are either abusive, neglectful, or more often than not have an addiction issue. So whether it's, you know, prescribed medicine or things like meth or whatever their drug of choice may be, a lot of times it's addiction that puts kids in the foster care system because they're either being abused or being neglected because the parents are addicted. So, so it's a challenge. You know, it's a challenge. It's not an easy thing. It's not a pleasant thing. You know, you have a good time with your kiddo, but at the same time, you have to go to court. You have to be in front of a judge and really sort out what's going on. Uh, my kiddos had challenges. You know, it's not been a simple. It's not like Big Brother, Big Sister, where you know, they live with their family, but you take them out and you do stuff. Most of the time, the parents might have their parental rights terminated, which means they're no longer their parents.
Well,
Biologically, they are, but legally, they're not.
does people go crazy about it?
Um, you know what? In the
Okay.
court cases that I've been to, when we were doing live court, and I would sit in and listen in on some of the cases before me, I mean, some of these parents, I wouldn't even really call them parents. You
Oh,
know, they were just the human that they came out of. That's the
I
only way
see.
I put it. You
Yeah.
know, because being a parent is not something that you just are. You know, being a biological parent only means biological. It doesn't mean that you're actually doing what it is to be a parent.
Mm.
And you don't need to be biological to be a parent. You know, parenting is a way of being. It's a way of, you know, raising kids. And just because you're biologically, they came from you, doesn't mean you get to do that. And it's drug addiction. A lot of it is drug addiction. You know, you have parents who are uh, have their kids taken away for a period of time so that they can get sober and stay sober long enough to have their kids go back. The ultimate goal of a court appointed special advocate is to find a permanent home for that child. So it could be with other family members, it could be reuniting with the parents, it could be adoption, and it could be just making sure that they get to 18 and they're ready to face the world.
So how will someone that, let's say I'm seeing a neighbor with a kid that is being abused, how will I contact CASA and
Well, you
have
wouldn't.
help?
You would contact the Department of Family Services. So
Okay,
you most likely you would call the police,
okay.
and then the police would get DFS involved here in Nevada anyway.
Mhm.
They would get DFS involved, and a caseworker would come and pick up the child and then take them to Child Haven,
Yes,
which, you know, is Child Haven. I mean, it's kind of like a I don't want to say a camp,
yeah,
but it's a facility where the kids are until they can find them a foster home. So, you know, it's kind of like you know, living at college or something. I mean, they have bunk beds and things like that. Not a horrible place, but not a very pleasant place. And that's what would happen. So if you saw abuse, you know, if you suspected abuse, you could either call DFS directly, but more often than not, people call the police. And the police bring in DFS to pick up the kids. They take the parents to jail, and then the whole process starts. And that kid, you know, it's really sad because they show up and they say, okay, Billy, you're coming with me. Here's a garbage bag, you know, put all your stuff in it, you know, because they don't have suitcases, they don't have anything. Just put your stuff in this bag and we're going. And the kids, you know, depending on their age, they you know, they react the way they react. It's shocking to the kids. You know, and it's the craziest thing because a lot of times these kids, they just want to go back to their parents, no matter how abusive the parents are. At the same time, they're their parents, and that's all they know. So um, there's some very sad stories. I've been lucky that I've had really good foster parents, and I've had good kids, and the people in the system that I've worked with pretty much are doing their job, despite however many cases they have, they're pretty much doing their job. So it's given me some hope, and I see some possibility that not every kid that goes into foster care is going to have a bad outcome. And it's because of the CASA program that kids with CASAs basically have better outcomes than kids without.
Is CASA better than the Heaven program that you were talking about?
You mean the Big Brothers Big Sister?
No, when they go to
Child Haven?
Child Haven,
Yeah,
is
Child
CASA
Haven
better
is
than
just
Child Haven?
it's
It's
like,
like a temporary placement?
yeah, it's meant to be temporary,
Okay.
until they can figure out where they can take you, because the foster care system has a structure to it. So the only way to put a kid into a placement, they have to stop, keep the kid in Child Haven, hopefully maybe for not more than a week or something, until they can find him a home. But it depends on the circumstances and depends on the needs of the child. Some of the kids have mental health issues because of the abuse. I mean, it takes a lot of people to be a parent. It's crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, uh, there's a whole team of people surrounding my kiddo. You know, when I mean surrounding them, I mean he's got an independent living worker. At one point, he had an educational surrogate. He has a CASA. He has an attorney. He has a DFS worker, and then whoever runs the placements, runs the foster care. There's like 5 or 6 people working to be a parent for a kid, not to mention the foster parents. So it's a world that I hope nobody goes to.
No, I understand. So DFS is like a child protective services? It's like
Yeah,
a child protective
right.
services?
So that's
That's
DFS. Here we call it
okay.
DFS,
Oh, I see.
Department of Family Services.
Okay. Yeah, I hear sometimes when kids are taken away from their parents and they find foster parents, sometimes it's more difficult for kids to adjust to foster parents, and sometimes it's even worse. So they go through
Right.
situations where until the parents are not really going back to being a healthy parent, it's difficult for the kids because they go through different homes and not really feeling comfortable at any of them until
Well,
they can find a good
so
responsible parent.
exactly. And part of the impact of that is that they're moving from place to place. So they're always establishing new relationships. And they are also probably moving from school to school. And so a lot of the kids are way behind in school because they've moved, or, just so many situations. Some of them run away and then they come back. It can be anything. And so the system works to deal with it as best the system can deal with it, and every case is unique, so how do you create a system that serves everybody the same way, but everybody's different? It's a challenging problem. And you know it's not, so the foster care problem happens because of other problems. So
Yes.
other problems are drug addiction and things like that. Other problems are other mental health issues that parents may have, education that's missing, a bad previous, like it just is such a complex problem. And it's sad, just really sad.
So is that kind of your inspiration to work with a kid at the time as if it was your own, just to get the best out of what they can get within the circumstances?
Yeah. You work to get them the best possible outcome given the circumstances. They the younger they are, the more likely they are to get adopted and be integrated into a real family. And I've seen success stories like that. The older they are, past a certain age, they have a choice to be adopted or not. They can choose. So they can stay in foster care, and you can stay in your foster home until you age out. There's not a time limit for you to be in a foster home. but it's not an adoptive home. It's sort of like, I don't know how to describe it, but there are other kids in the house that the foster parents are taking care of, and those kids come and go. It's not a family environment. It's not meant to be a permanent placement. It's meant to be temporary, but I think past age 14, the kids can choose whether they want to be in foster care, and they choose to be in adopted or not. And some don't want to be adopted. They just want to age out. That's what they want. Okay, you get to choose. And it's very complicated when the government is trying to be the parent and protect the kids' rights. It just sometimes seems like a big mess. But I will tell you that the people that I've worked with, they really do care, even though sometimes they may seem like it. They really do care. Most of them do their jobs. At least the ones what I mean? At least the ones that I've come across.
Yeah.
Very conscientious people. And even though they get paid, I mean, they make a difference. They make a difference and they get paid. And none of them are getting rich, believe me. So it's a job and they do their jobs, but they don't do it for the money, because there's no money in it. There's no money in being a DFS worker. You can be a supervisor and you can kind of move up, but there's not a lot of positions like that, and they don't necessarily pay tremendously well. So you have to be doing that kind of work because you care about other human beings.
That's beautiful. So if someone wanted to adopt a work as a via mediator, will you be able to direct them where to go and what to do if someone was interested?
I would say no, I don't have that information. But if you want to become a CASA, if being a CASA and making a difference for one child, a lifetime of difference for one child, you can go to CASA Las Vegas, all one word, .org.
CasaLasVegas.org. Okay.
Yeah. And then
is this like a volunteer program?
Yeah, it's a volunteer. There's training involved. The commitment can be as much as 20 hours a week. I'm sorry, 20 hours a month. So, when before COVID, I would see my kid once a week and we go do something and hang out. And that gives me a chance to hear what is going on for them and what they're dealing with. And then I check in on stuff, make sure they're not giving me a bunch of crap, but also making sure that the foster parents are treating them well and, all that stuff. So, they're still kids and you still have to, I put my parent hat on, thank God I've got, older kids and I know the routine and I know the BS that you get. So, there's a limited amount of things I can do, but I can at least listen and guide them and hopefully make a difference that way and just make sure everybody's doing their job. That's the big thing.
That's a beautiful mission. I'm so glad, Ronen. Where can people follow you?
Oh, that's a good question.
LinkedIn, Facebook, how can they find you?
I'm on Facebook. Just Google my name. You'll see me there. There's not a lot. There's probably only one of me. With my name, Ronen Rahaman. Yeah, there's only one of me. And you can also follow realappointments.com and a few other things. And I'm on Instagram. I'm at Ronen613. So
okay.
you'll see all the cigars that I smoke and the bourbon that I
drink. And the whiskey, right?
Yep. It all goes
whiskey
together.
And cigar time. No, I've seen that. Thank you so much, Ronen. I appreciate you, and you're welcome to come back anytime. The reason I named or I numbered the episodes so that people can identify which one they're contacting you about or which one they love. So Wonderful. They can, let's say you come back in a month and now you're episode number 30. Then people can relate to which one they're talking about. And we can form the connection.
Thank you for giving me the time to talk about CASA, because I can talk about myself, but I'm much more interested and I'm much more interesting when I talk about CASA, Be-
No, I remember listening to you speaking about it, and you're passionate, and that's what I want to show people, the human side of what inspire us, because I want us to inspire each other. So I think that we accomplished that mission today, and I thank you for that. And of course, you're welcome back.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me. Good to see you as always.
Thank you so much. You're very kind.
See you soon.
Thank you, Ronen.